Coming. No guest this week, but we have some real important topics we can discuss. And I want to start one with I did a little pink today, and pink in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and honor all those survivors, and even in honor those that did not make it. My mom being one, had cancer but did not make it. And I also want to remember, I want us all to remember, there are so many different cancers that are destructive to humanity. There's breast cancer that is more prevalent among women. However, men, we still need to be checked. Many men still get it. Of course, we're not as prone to it and don't carry the same gene as many women do. However, it can affect men, so we need to be very careful, and we need to be aware is to be alive. So we need to check too. Then there's lung cancer. Lung cancer affects people for so many different reasons in so many different ways. More commonly, it's associated with smoking, but there are people who never smoke get lung cancer, and there's people who smoke 70 years and don't even die from cancer or lung cancer. So we just don't know. It's different genes, variations. They even saying it may be in our food, which is possible. And I really sometimes get stuck thinking around the late 80s, early 90s, they seem to have had cancer under control, and the survival rate really was going up. And I guess it still has gone up some, but the rapid growth of cancer sometimes is still a little mind-boggling in certain instances. You know, you have various forms. Metastasized mean it's growing and they can't stop it. Or it's going to be very hard to stop. So once it metastasizes, survival rates start going down. However, due to many medicines for breast cancer, lung cancer, there's a lot of help. But there's people who get cancer on the liver, cancer in other areas of the body, and, you know, brain cancer. There's limit to how much radiation and things they can give in those areas. There's limits to whether they should do any radiation at all, whether it should be the pills or whether it should be a dose sent straight to the area. It's a lot of different factors in that help people survive. Let's realize the universe and God has the last word, but to be aware is to be alive. We all need to check. Men, what most prominently known to kill us is something very easy to manage most of the time if it's found early. Prostate cancer. It's, for the most part, very little reason why any man should die from prostate cancer. Prostate cancer typically is one of the more slower growing cancers, typically. However, you have mid-level growth and you have some rapid growth cancers. That's why, as uncomfortable as it is, oftentimes if you have a family history showing cancer, if you have any diagnosis of potential cancer, they want to check you every 6 months, year at the longest. And then it's because different spots of cancer, I've learned personally, have different growth patterns. Just because they go in last year and they find a spot that's slow growing, won't cause any problems the rest of your 30, 40 years of life, unless something changes with the form of it or how it's growing. Then there are those that can be rapid and they have to treat with radiation and or chemotherapy. And so that's real important that you continue to get tested, do the follow-up testing. Because if they spot any cancer in your body or you have a history of cancer, the follow-up is very important. They have a blood test, PSA test, that's very significant for men. They have other tests for women, mammograms and things of that for breast cancer. They're very important because they save lives. Whenever you can detect the potential, sometimes they're what we call false negatives. They actually do not show a actual cancer once it's investigated and they do biopsies. However, it's better to do a biopsy and find out that it's not cancerous cells. It may be a tumor. It may be some other form of tissue that appears that it could be cancerous. But it's better to find out than not find out and it was cancer. You know, it's like faith. It's better to believe and not need than to need and not believe. And the same thing with checking on cancer. It is very important we check for it and find out we don't have it versus not checking and you do have it. Because as we say, there are various stages of growth. And if it's mid-level growth or rapid growth, you got a problem on your hands if you wait too long. And some people do not like doctors. Well, saving your life should not be anything that keeps you away from a doctor. Think of it in terms of life-saving opportunities. And if you're not sure with the first doctor or set of doctors, then find you another doctor. If you get cancer diagnosis from one doctor, then go see a second doctor, even a third doctor. If all three say it's cancer, you know it's cancer. Now, if there's some discrepancy, and then if there's cancer and then there's discrepancy on the treatment, you have to choose the treatment you're comfortable with. You have to choose the treatment you're comfortable with and the one that best works for you. Now, in all honesty, I'm in a position where I may have to make a choice next year, the year after. I may never have to make the choice. But the doctor I have says that he doesn't prefer surgery because I'm a thick guy. I'm rather handsome and thick. And for guys my size, he prefers not to do surgery. So that means either chemotherapy or radiation or a combination of the two. If I get any mid-level growths in the future, or if I get any rapid growth cancer cells in my prostate. I honestly have some slow growth, but it's nothing I need to worry about. As he says, the last couple of times after biopsies, well, right now, all you need to do is manage your weight, manage your diabetes, manage your blood pressure. Them the three things you need to do, and you will live as long as anyone else. And you had a possibility to live into your 80s, possibly 90s. He doesn't give me 100. Well, I'm going for the 100. Anyway, but the reality is I have to deal with the fact there is something going on there. And I have to get checked regularly. Now, in all honesty, I was going to ask him to change me to annual instead of every 6 months, 7 months. And then a great athlete from Chicago, Ryan Sandberg, died because of rapid growth prostate cancer. And that changed my mind, and now I need to investigate more. And hopefully I never come to having to make that decision on treatment. But if I do, then I have to look at it honestly. Plus, I have to realize that even when sometimes things seem under control, they can spiral out of control. Even for those that's rich and famous, even those that's great athletes who, to our knowledge, were in tremendous shape for their age groups and throughout their lifespan, versus me, who I really haven't been in the gym regular in a few years. And unlike a lot of athletes, I have not regularly worked out for more than a few months any given year. And one year I did get close to a year of working out regular, but that was about it in the last 10, 12, 15 years. So I have, when I think about these athletes that struggle beating cancer, but then what I do love is I'm part of the faith community, and you get a lot more people in the faith community that have survived cancer and have did well. And the doctors are now saying that it helps to have people on a good spiritual ground, emotional, mental ground. And that helps, meditation, all of that. So it's important that even the brilliant doctors have realized there's advantages to people having some faith or having some meditation or having other spiritual mechanisms to help keep them in a spirit of victory and not give in to defeat before the miracle happened. In recovery, in a lot of places, they say don't leave 5 minutes before the miracle happened. Well, even doctors are realizing when they not sure if they can save people, sometimes those that seem to have the greatest advantage are men and women of faith. It's not saying a particular faith, but of faith, or those that have deep-rooted spiritual convictions, deep-rooted meditative convictions, where they really believed in the power of the universe to heal them, along with whatever the doctors are prescribing. But there are cases where sometimes people have been successful in various stages of being healed by the universe itself. So whichever way you choose, at least know what you're fighting and know how tough the fight may be. And we want you to continue to advise any and everyone you know, starting with advising yourself. Check to make sure you don't have any cancer, lung cancer, breast cancer, stomach cancer, potential struggles in your gut, and it ain't your stomach. Make sure it's not some pancreatic cancer possibly evolving, or some form of a liver cancer evolving, or do you just have something going on with your gallbladder, or something going on with something I lost years ago, appendix. Those things can be removed, but sometimes they cause some great run. But if not handled at various stages, they can go deadly. Generally speaking, an appendectomy, a removal of the appendix, is a simple procedure. But you can't sit around aching and aching until it explodes. If it explodes, inflamed appendix shoots poison through your body that can kill you within hours, 24 hours. And then if they don't get you in surgery and get you before doctors for antibiotics, if it ruptures, then it becomes deadly. And they have to get you within hours. They have to get you before healthcare professionals to help cleanse your body as fast as they can and give you antibiotics to fight the poison. But you need not die from anything like appendicitis. If you have problems with your gallbladder, you need not die from that. You need not suffer in pain. There are various natural treatments and other treatments. But back to the cancer, which is the primary discussion in this Breast Cancer Awareness Month, is that you have to be vigilant once you have been diagnosed. You have to be your body, your has to be important. Your procedure has to be important. Your medication has to be important to you. And realize that it's a disease that oftentimes does not go away. It can be cured without medicine on rare occasions. But the significant prevalence is you will need some medication. You will possibly need chemotherapy and or radiation. So that's the general realities. Now, I want you to realize that there are other cancers that can disrupt your way of living. Skin cancer is more prevalent now for various reasons. People liking to be in the sun, even though it's not friendly to their skin. People not protecting their skin. So that's something. But we also have other cancers that aren't totally understood yet. We may not want to talk about it, and then we have those, the particular form that's significantly dangerous, rarely talked about. Certain people develop blood cancer, and it's harder to deal with. Any cancers around the liver, they may well have some treatments now, but for years, they didn't have treatments for that area. So they had to hope other things knocked out the cancer and it did not spread to other areas of the body. Cancer can move. So that's another reason you want to catch it early. Because as I said, metastasizing means it's growing and it can start moving and end up in other areas of the body, making it harder to defend the body, to cure the body. So let's remember to keep all of those in our thoughts, and let's pray, and let us all be very cognizant that we need to check our bodies and try to make sure we don't have cancers, and if so, to be aware, to diagnose as soon as possible if need be, and to deal with the medicines necessary and or take better care of yourself to avoid it spreading is very important. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is, unfortunately, by Saturday morning, a significant group of Americans will lose their SNAP and or what we call EBT benefit dollars. They will lose them or they may be significantly reduced. Last weekend, our state representative, kudos to her, Yolanda Morris, the 9th District, put out information on the new requirements, even if you do receive benefits, and if you're coming up for renewals. There are new renewal requirements, there are new eligibility requirements, and there are some that are the same, but there are some that are quite different, some very different, and some of the guidelines have changed or shifted. So it's real important that you seek this information, whether it's Googling it from the state of Illinois, whether it's Googling the new federal guidelines, whether it's going and finding the post or Googling Representative Yolanda Morris, 9th District office, and getting the information she has available for those in Illinois. So it's real important. So the city of Chicago, all of us are in Illinois. Anybody wondering, well, am I in Illinois? For one reason or another, because it happens. We just get absent-minded sometimes. And sometimes we have dealt with just being in the city of Chicago so long, we sometimes don't even think about we're in the state, we're in the county of Cook, you know, that we have these different districts we live in, whether it's state districts, federal districts, whether it's county commissioner districts on different levels. So, I mean, some of us just not as engaged in those areas of life. It's good to be engaged, but at the same time, not everyone is engaged for various reasons. Some are so busy counting money, making money, whether it's in money management, whether it's in real estate, whether it's in being a chef and running restaurants, that they really sometimes don't stop to think about or get engaged in some other things outside of their expertise. And it does great for the family. So then sometimes we have to remind them that, you know, they have to be cognizant of certain things. Usually when the property taxes come out, everybody wonder what's going on, and that's when they really care about government. Or if they own property and they get them property tax bills, or if they own cars and they get all them taxes when they get ready to come out the dealership and it went up, you know, $2-3 grand, and they like, why? And then they started talking about percentages of taxes on the sale and so forth, so on. Then it's usually finance charge, other taxes in there, or interest rates, but that doesn't have anything to do with government. But that price increase make you look at everything, including government's involvement in your pocket. But it's real important that we consider how we can help these people. Be ready to help. A hand up is going to be ready to try to help provide food. Most likely, we'll try to help with our church, the nearest churches, food pantries that give it or give away a food. But something very unique happened in these last few minutes. There's a pastor called Jamal Bryant, who was head of the Target boycott and other boycotts, who want us to use our revenue better. But he heard the clarion call that some ministers have gotten in trouble for asking for more money for the church in a time in the last 9 months in particular, where people are constantly losing jobs and losing benefits and coming under the duress of losing more benefits, more jobs. And some church preachers, pastors, bishops, apostles decide they want to keep asking for hundreds and thousands of dollars. Well, there's one pastor who decided he would ask for absolutely nothing this past Sunday. And it's going wild on the internet, and it's good to find that out. But what's most important is he asked people to do unto each other as they're doing unto God and the church. To do for your neighbor as you would yourself and as you would for your church and God. He said, take the 10% and buy food and bring it to us to help feed those who lost their benefits and who are losing their benefits come Saturday, November 1st, because of the government shutdown. He said, don't bring it here. I'm doing well. Don't bring it to our church specifically because we're doing well. Use us as the resource to distribute to the people in the Atlanta area who are losing their benefits due to the government shutdown and other government changes. And I thought that's something to think about for all of us, whether you believe in the whole Christian formula, the Catholic formula, the Lutheran formula, whether you believe in Allah, Jehovah. But as human beings, if we all who do tithe to churches or do give significant offerings or who give offerings, period, whatever we give to spiritual branches or donate to other groups, it would be nice to see us go purchase food to take to a food pantry in our area at the church, a food pantry that a nonprofit runs, a food pantry with Catholic charities, or to find these people on the street or single parent moms that you see with their kids and to literally give them groceries. Your neighbor that's struggling to raise 2 or 3 kids, you're 60 and about to retire. You know that lady is 30 with 3 kids and you haven't seen a responsible male in the family assisting her. Go take her some groceries. She may well need them. And if not, her children will need them. Take them to other people you know in need. So I always go get about 30 coats to give away all over the city of Chicago, and sometimes I take them to other groups that do events. And sometime last year we did our own event at Hand Up. We may well do both, but the reality is I'm also going to stock up on some foods, non-perishables and other foods that I can give away around the community. I'm going to take some extra things. I haven't decided, to the local food pantries, in particular the one at our church, Character Center AME. Give out food between 1 and 3 every Friday. I want to commend Alderman Monique Scott, 24th Ward. She put a list of about 15, 20 different churches, community groups, nonprofits in her area, and the date and times they give out their food. They have their food pantries open. And I'm sure some of them going to get extended hours here and there. and by the blessings of the church, the community. But I'm saying let's overflow these pantries for the overflow of people that are coming. Sometime to save a life and to stop more violence on the street, we got to stop the issues that's going to cause it. If we don't help these people struggling, rest assured we're going to have more crime. Some of it we can't prevent, but a lot of it we can prevent by showing compassion. So I'm appealing to everyone, whatever you give to churches, community groups, nonprofits, take some of them donations, if not all of them this month and maybe next month. Buy foods that you know people can use and take it to various food pantries in your area, or give it out yourself to people you know of need in your community. And this has been a wonderful half hour. Thank you, CAN TV, for the opportunity to converse and share pertinent information with the Chicagoland area. Peace out. Blessings.